Homeowners and a local nonprofit out hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tonight, Local News 8 is getting results investigating a local contractor who left jobs unfinished, then shut down his unlicensed business. Local News 8 reporter Seth Ratliff is here with us now in a first of a series of special reports. Seth.
Todd, this really is a story of buyer beware. In the state of Idaho, if a contractor takes your money before a job is finished and then shuts down, it's extremely difficult to get the work completed or get your money back. Meet Jennifer Bennett, an Idaho Falls homeowner who is one of the 10 local people I found who are owed money by Relived Construction. Jennifer hired the company after seeing an ad on social media. She admits to not doing her homework to background the company, and that's one of the 7 steps I'll walk you through in this series of reports to help make you a more savvy consumer. But first, back to Jennifer, whose story dates back to February 2023, when she hired Relived Construction. The company was owned by this man, Brandon Cook. Jennifer paid him $10,000 up front to redo her master and guest bathrooms. By April 2023, Relived Construction still hadn't finished the job.
I ended up being left with a demoed bathroom, no working bathroom in the house, open walls.
Bennett ended up hiring another contractor to complete the unfinished project. But even then, she still had to deal with the aftermath.
The new contractor immediately brought in a plumber, who immediately brought in an inspector, who said that a lot of the plumbing and electrical was not up to code. And I did take pictures of what he did in my basement plumbing-wise. He cut structural beams and then didn't adequately, you could see sagging in those beams. So he tried to shore them up, but he didn't do it properly.
Turning back to Facebook, Jennifer came across 9 other people who had hired Relived Construction. She went to the police to find out what her options were, but when trying to get help, she says she hit a roadblock.
It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of recourse. After talking to the police department, it just was like, even if you get a favorable judgment, going down that path is very complicated and not straightforward and not very likely to produce anything. And
she's not alone. Meet Shelley homeowner Cody Hawker. On February 28, 2023, he says he paid Cook $33,000 up front. And like Jennifer, the work was never finished.
So we did all of the concrete work, and then he was supposed to come in and frame it. And anyway, the only work that he did was he removed the siding underneath that window, and then cut a couple boards. I mean, it was maybe an hour that he was here.
For nearly a year, he's had to board up this hole in his basement. An eyesore, he says, also creates problems in wet weather.
You can hear the pump running. I have to come out, like I have to set an alarm on my phone every 2 hours and come out and make sure that it's pumping the water out. Otherwise, it floods our basement every time. It's just been a nightmare, absolute nightmare yeah, it's just awful.
After hearing the similar stories from Cody Hawker and Jennifer Bennett, I began researching the owner of Relived Construction, Brandon Cook. According to court documents, Relived Construction has been involved in several small claims disputes that are now all resolved. And after an online search, I confirmed that Relived Construction was never licensed by the State Division of Occupational and Professional Licenses. I did, however, discover that the license for B&B Customs Painting, a company owned by Brandon Cook, which expired in October 2023. I also discovered 2 additional complaints against Cook filed with the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. But according to the Attorney General, they do not have the jurisdiction to prosecute Cook. The first complaint was closed because Mr. Cook was facing a grand theft charge in Bingham County, and the Idaho Contractors Board had an open investigation. The second complaint was closed as an unresolved because the Attorney General was unable to contact Mr. Cook for a response. In my investigation, I also discovered an Idaho Falls nonprofit, Life, a Center for Independent Living, that paid Cook over $200,000 for a project that was also never finished. They say they trusted Cook after he completed a previous work repainting one of their office spaces. Afterwards, they hired Cook to do a large renovation project on their building in Idaho Falls because of the positive experience on the first project. $200,000 later, Cook was nowhere to be found.
So a lot, you sifted through a lot. There's a lot going on here. Got to be careful. What can people do to find some help with this?
Well, that's a complicated question. Todd, if you believe you have a criminal case against a contractor, the Attorney General's office says you can file an incident report with your local law enforcement. But later in this series, I'll break down why that's so hard to get results. Looking back at the Attorney General, though, even though they were unable to contact Mr. Cook, we actually were. And tomorrow night at 6 and 5 p.m., I'll take these complaints directly to him. And what he says may surprise you. Not only does he admit that his business spiraled out of control, but he says he wants to pay everyone back.
I'm completely sorry. I can't sit here and say, be patient, even though that's, basically that's what I'm asking for. This was never the outcome that I wanted.
See the full interview tomorrow on Local News 8. Reporting in the studio, I'm Local News 8's Seth Ratliff.